Hello everyone and welcome to another video. Argentina have had a sensational 2022 World Cup and they now are in the final once again. However, the South American team haven't won the World Cup since 1986 with Diego Maradona, but Lionel Messi is hoping that he can do one better than they did in the 2014 World Cup. And that is what we're going to focus on, the starting lineup from that match, the defeat to Germany, and where they are now. First on goal that day was Sergio Romero, who was playing at the time for Monaco on loan from Sampdoria. Following the loan, he went back and spent one more season at Sampdoria before he signed on a free transfer to Manchester United on a 3-year contract and was reunited with his former AZ Alkmaar manager Louis van Gaal. In his time at Manchester United, he won the Europa League and he was even in the team of the season for it, but appearances in the Premier League were hard to get as he was the understudy for David De Gea. After 6 seasons with the Manchester team, he transferred to Venezia on a free transfer, spending 1 season before Romero returned to Argentina with Boca Juniors, where he still is today. He was named in the 2018 World Cup squad but was ruled out because of a knee injury, and he didn't appear at this year's World Cup. Next we have the right back, which on the day was Pablo Zabaleta, who played for Manchester City at the time, and Zabaleta retired from international football in 2016. However, he stayed with Manchester City until 2017 when he signed with West Ham on a free transfer after winning plenty of Premier League titles with Manchester City. Zabaleta played 80 times for West Ham over 3 seasons, scoring 1 goal before he retired on the 16th of October 2020. Next, we move on to the right centre-back of this Argentina team, and it was incidentally Zabaleta's clubmate at the time, Martin Demichelis. The Manchester City Rock moved to Espanyol in 2016 as he was getting into the twilight of his career. However, he was released on January the 10th, 2017 with only 2 appearances for the club, and at almost 35 years old, he signed with Malaga once again in his career on a 5-month deal before retiring on the 15th of May. Since retiring, he has embarked on a managerial career, first being the assistant of Malaga, then the coach of Bayern Munich's youth team and reserve teams, before now becoming the River Plate manager from 2023, and will be managing one of his teammates from the 2014 World Cup starting lineup. The next player of this Argentine starting lineup was the left centre-back Ezekiel Garay, who was playing for Benfica at the time. However, on the 25th of June 2014, Russian club Zenit St. Petersburg signed Garay in a transfer totaling 6 million. He appeared in 42 games in all competitions for the Russian side in his first season, helping them to their 4th Russian Premier League championship, and 2 years later, Garay made the move to Spanish side Valencia for a fee around 20 million euros. He scored 4 goals in his debut campaign with the Spanish side. In 2020, he was asked to be released so another player in his position could be signed. Having been without a club for over a year, the 34-year-old Garay announced his retirement in 2021. Last member in our defensive lineup that day was 24-year-old Marcos Rojo, who was playing for Sporting Lisbon at the time. However, in the summer transfer in 2014, they agreed to sell Rojo for £16 million to Manchester United, and the next day United announced that they had signed him on a 5-year contract, with Nani moving to Sporting Lisbon on a season-long loan. He stayed with the club until 2021 when he returned to Boca Juniors, where he has been ever since, and he's not officially retired from international football. However, the last time he played for Argentina was back in 2019. Now we move on to the midfield, and the first of the holding midfielders we'll look at is Javier Maserano. The midfield maestro was playing for Barcelona at the time, where he stayed for another 4 seasons until 2018. He managed to win the La Liga 3 more times, as well as the Champions League in 2015, and on the 24th of January 2018, Chinese Super League side Hebei China Fortune announced the signing of Maserano for 5.5 million. 1 season later, and Maserano joined the Argentinian club Estudiantes in the January transfer window of 2020 on a free transfer, and he retired 1 season later before he went on to become the manager of the under-20 Argentinian national team. The second holding midfielder on the day was Lucas Biglia, playing for Lazio at the time. He spent 3 seasons in the Roman club before signing for a reported 17 million euros to AC Milan. Biglia spent 3 seasons with the team before he was released by the club at the end of 2018 2019-2020 following the expiration of his contract. On the 14th of September 2020, Biglia joined newly promoted Turkish Premier League side Fatih Karagümrük on a free transfer before switching to Istanbul Başakşehir in 2022, where he still is today. Returning to a World Cup lineup, the next Argentinian in the lineup was the right winger Enzo Perez, who was playing for Benfica at the time. However, this didn't last long as his performances had attracted a lot of attention before he switched to Valencia for 25 million euros in the January transfer of that year. He stayed with the club until 2017, where he returned to Argentina with River Plate, where he still is to this day, helping them to many titles, including the Copa Argentina in 2017 and 2019. The attacking midfielder on the day was none other than Messi, who was so gutted to lose that final. The time since this final could be a video in itself, as he's achieved so much, winning 4 more La Liga titles with FC Barcelona, 2 more Ballon d'Ors, and has broken numerous records on the way. But in 2021, he had to leave his beloved Barcelona due to the financial issues with the club, which sent him to PSG, where he's already tasted league success, and on an international front, he is the most internationally capped player for Argentina and has the record for the number of goals for his country as well, and of course has managed to fight his way to another World Cup final at the 2022 World Cup with his team in Qatar, and potentially it could change this curse of not winning the World Cup. But Messi, the legend, was definitely gutted on the day to lose to Germany. Our penultimate player of our starting 11 is Ezekiel Garay, who was playing for PSG at the time, and he stayed with them until 2016. Garay signed with Hebei China Fortune on a 2-year deal in the Chinese Super League. 2 years later, he announced his retirement from the sport. And now we come to our final player in our starting lineup in the final, and that was Gonzalo Higuain, who was acting as the sole centre forward. He was playing for Napoli at the time, and in the 2015-2016 season he had an incredible year, scoring 36 goals in the league, which attracted the attention of Juventus. After a month of speculation, on the 26th of July 2016, Higuain transferred to arch rivals Juventus for a fee of 90 million euros, making him the most expensive South American football player at the time, and that record lasted until Neymar's transfer to PSG in 2017. Higuain stayed with the club until 2020, winning multiple titles and having 2 separate loan moves, one to AC Milan and one to Chelsea in his time. And on the 18th of September 2020, it was announced that Higuain signed for MLS side Inter Miami, owned by David Beckham partially, and Higuain retired at the end of Inter Miami's 2022 MLS season. So that's basically it for the starting lineup against Germany on the day, unfortunately losing 1-0 to the Mario Götze goal, and the 2022 Argentina side will definitely hope to not replicate that. Lionel Messi is actually the only player from the starting lineup to start against France in the final. So that's it for this video. Make sure to comment down below which player you most liked in this lineup, and like the video, subscribe to the channel, and as always, thank you for watching and have a nice day.